Here's a list of the tools that you'll need. A 16-inch bar clamp, a 10-inch bar clamp, some protective clamp cauls or small blocks of wood lined with leather, a 5 to 6 inch by 2 inch length of a small padded board, a picture frame strap clamp and the accompanying ratchet, a hard rubber mallet, carpenter's wood glue, several paper towels and a little water, 2 4-inch deck screws with their associated drill bit and a Phillips screwdriver. This is optional. A drill driver with a base string winder bit, and you'll probably have to make that one. Maybe I'll do it on another video. Before we actually glue the neck into the neck joint, we'll want to run the entire procedure dry. This means that every single step of the job will be performed without glue, and then things will be disassembled very slightly to allow for the gluing. After the glue is applied, we'll clamp everything back into place and tighten it all down. So we'll begin with the dry clamping procedure. And here's our patient. Okay, let's get started. The first thing we have to do is put a block on top of the fingerboard so that the main holding clamp that holds the neck onto the body doesn't slip because of the odd angles of the fingerboard and the back of the base. I'm using some leather-lined spacers and some cauls or protective clamp blocks as well to protect the instrument. As you can see, we have a great fit. The next step is to secure a strap clamp from the end pin assembly to the upper 2 tuning gears of the D and the A tuners. We'll tie the tail off at those same tuners to get it out of our way. Next, I'll lubricate the tuners because these move very stiffly and they squeak. Now we'll put our main holding clamp in place. This is the one that holds the neck to the body and is the main holding feature of our repair. I'm using a hard rubber mallet to persuade the crack to line up. We'll bring this one out often as the neck will move during the course of our repair. Now we'll put some tension on the strap clamp using a small ratchet, which will result in pulling the neck back. This is one of 4 of the main sources of clamping. We will need clamping front to back and side to side. Each one of these clamps needs to be flexible and mobile and accessible at all times. The 4 sources are the G string, the E string individually, the G and the E strings together, and the strap clamp. Now there'll be more on this as we proceed. Next, we'll put the outside strings on. We'll just be using the E and the G strings for this repair. I'm using a drill driver with a bit that fits around the tuning gear clover. It takes a very, very long time to wind the strings around the tuners if they're done by hand, and it will wear you out in no time at all. Now we'll put the bridge in place. This one is fitted with Tonnegus adjustment wheels, so it makes it very easy to adjust the height. But we still need to have our neck set at a reasonable pitch so that the adjustments on the bridge aren't crazy low or crazy high. If the bridge weren't fit with those adjustment wheels, we would have to be much more careful with the forward-backward pitch of the neck and make lots of compensations while in the gluing and clamping process. What it looks like when it's glued and in clamps and what it will look like when it's finished and in tune are two very different things. Now we have some tension on the strings and we have some tension on the strap clamp, so we're getting pull from behind and pull from the front. This will create our forward and backward clamping. We'll be making adjustments from behind and from the front using both the ratchet with the strap clamp and the tuning gears to create tension on the strings. We'll also use the tuning gears to allow for pull from side to side by creating more and less tension on the E and G strings. In other words, when we tighten the E string, the neck will tend to pull to the right if you're standing in the playing position. If you tighten the G string, the neck will pull to the left while you're standing in the playing position. Here we're using our rubber mallet to coax things into place. We also are very meticulous about the placement of the bridge, which must be exactly spaced between the two F-holes. And the angle of the neck must allow for proper string height when the instrument is fully set up and in tune. Now I'm checking the bridge placement between the F-holes. After I decide where I want the bridge to sit, I'll put 2 pieces of masking tape on each side of the feet, and with a pen, I'll mark on the tape a small mark at the front and back edges of each foot, and that will be where my bridge goes all the time. We're going to pull the main holding clamp off now because it's time to apply the glue. Everything fits just right, and we can loosen things up just enough so that we can manipulate the neck and the body separately. So let's go for it. I want to have some paper towels nearby. If there's any glue runoff, I want to catch it right away, but mostly I'll use them to catch the excess glue that's collected on my fingertips from getting on the instrument. Be sure to have a place to set the glue bottle down because you'll want to spread the glue with your fingers, those same fingers that you just used to squeeze that glue out. Make sure you cover every surface, side to side, back of the neck, the heel, everything. When you finish with the back part, pull the front of it all away and make sure you get the front edges well covered. Everything. This is your only chance. Now we take the paper towels and holding the instrument with them, we'll clean things up as we go along, wiping the fingers once we finish. We'll want to set that paper towel aside and then bring the main holding clamp back into play and then remount the bridge. Now that the bridge is in place, we can get a clear idea of where our clamps are and how the alignment of the brake looks. I like to try to clean up as much as I can along the way, so I have very little of that at the end. Now I'll take a visual, see where things can be adjusted and clean up a little bit more. Then put a little bit of tension on the strings. Add more tension on the strap clamp. Give another tap or two with the mallet. And then continue the tightening process. We want to be sure everything is very, very tight. We also want to be sure that this crack is lined up just perfectly, because once we walk away from it at the end, that's what it will dry as. We're looking for lots of downward pressure from the clamping system of the strap clamp and the two strings. We also want to make sure that there's a very, very tight fit at the broken area, the rear of the heel. Now it's time to drive in the set screws that someone has previously pre-drilled. This was a good idea, as it enables us now to remove the main holding clamp and let the screws do the job of that clamp. This is an optional step. The repair would be just fine if it were left in clamps. We can still move the neck quite a bit because the glue hasn't set up yet. Now we have the opportunity to remove the other clamp and just let the string tension and the strap clamps do their job. One more double check of the bridge alignment. Put a little bit of tension on the string so we can hear some notes. Bang a few out. And there you have it.